Hey everyone, this is Stevie here, and today I'm bringing you a video on the best smartphone you can buy for under $70. Now, I said $70 because it is about $63 after tax for the model that I'm reviewing, which is the 16 gig storage and 2 gig of RAM. And I wholeheartedly suggest that you get the 2 gig of RAM version because when I checked, every time that I checked that I had a few apps running, the RAM usage was over a gig. And so that means if you don't have that 2 gig, then it will be removing some apps. So then when you go to open them back up, like you hit the multitask button and you click on it, then it's going to have to refresh. So we're going to be looking at 5 different categories today. It's going to be specs, design, performance, camera, and then finally my conclusion. So let's head on in. This phone has a 5-inch 720p display, so just HD, at 294 pixels per inch, which actually creates quite a crisp display. The chipset in it is a MediaTek MT6735, which is a quad-core 1.3 GHz Cortex-A53 processor and a Mali T720 GPU. This chipset's a little bit more difficult to remember than, Snapdragon 820. Anyway, the model that I'm reviewing has 16 gig of storage and 2 gig of RAM, but it also comes in an 8 gig and 1 gig version, which I don't recommend because of that 1 gig of RAM. However, it does have a micro SD card slot for expandable storage, which is great because I believe in Android 6.0 you can use adaptable storage, so then you can put in an SD card and then you can actually format it as internal storage so you can save anything to it. On the rear it has an 8 megapixel f2.0 camera with an LED flash, and on the front it has a 5 megapixel camera with surprisingly an LED flash as well. It has a great 2500 mAh non-removable battery that actually lasts a long time. I get 4 to 5 hours of screen on time, and this is heavy usage. This is like browsing like YouTube and playing video games, since I can't really use it as a phone. So everything that I do on it is either graphic intensive or CPU intensive. So overall, it provides me with great battery life. Now, this phone isn't a Note 7 in terms of design. However, I actually think it looks pretty nice. But when I say that, I mean the front of the phone, because the back of the phone, it leaves a lot to be desired. However, the front is actually designed really well. It has that nice curved glass like the iPhone 6s or 7, plus it has a cool front-facing LED, and the colors of the LCD screen and the faceplate are all the same, so then you can't really tell where the bezels are compared to the screen when it's off. Around the sides, it has sort of a metal, I believe it is, because it is chamfered. I can't really say for sure if it's metal. It's cold, so I believe it is. Unlike my Note 3's plastic bezels, or not bezels, but like the side rim, that you could tell that wasn't metal because, you know, it felt really cheap and it actually like was chipping. However, this holds up really well, and I honestly can't say if it's metal or not. So this phone actually is the fastest phone I've ever used, and that's really crazy considering it's like 60 bucks. And so like this phone opens apps really fast, really smooth, has great animations, the animations never lag, it never hiccups when I'm multitasking, and honestly, compared to the multitasking of an iPhone 6s that I've used before, it actually switches apps faster. What happens when you switch an app on an iPhone is it'll go into like the multi-app screen really fast, and then you click on it and it'll open it up fast. But what happens then is it's basically took a screenshot, and so then it gives it a second and it refreshes before it actually you can use it. Have you ever noticed that? Like, you'll unlock the phone with your fingerprint and then all the apps fly in, and then it takes like a second before you can actually swipe if you try swiping immediately. Well, that's the same thing what happens when you multitask. And on this phone, that doesn't happen at all because it's Android. And so it's fast. Like, you open an app and it's faster than my Note 3 with a Snapdragon 800 processor? No. Yeah, an 800 processor, Snapdragon 800, and that was a premium processor a few years ago, and is still considered a fast phone today. And so this phone at 60 bucks, that's really impressive. Battery life performance on it is great as well. And so overall, I'll get several hours of screen on time, and not even just several, but like 4 or 5 hours of CPU and GPU intensive tasks because I can't really use it as a phone, so I'll mainly use it for games and video. And so that thing, it lasts forever. And so I'm finding that my Note 3 has 85% battery at night, while this has like 36, and it has like 4 hours of screen on time. that's pretty impressive, and that helped me save a lot more battery on my actual phone while using a secondary phone for all the non-essential tasks. Now here's sort of where you'll see the effects of that limited price tag. It doesn't have a great camera by any means. Like, the rear-facing 8 megapixel camera is almost as good as the front-facing 2 megapixel camera on my Note 3. I don't know, but comparing it to an action camera that's the same exact price, you'll see the video up here, and it doesn't look that much worse, or it might even look better to you. And that's really circumstantial, as in, like, indoors it gets really choppy and grainy fast, but it actually doesn't look too bad if you're viewing it on the tiny screen. If you blow it up on like a computer screen or something, it's not that great. And so, like, I can't really recommend that you get this phone for the camera. You can't really get any camera for 60 bucks. So, for what it is, I think compared to the price, it's amazing. But compared to other phones, like the iPhone 7 or the Galaxy S7 Edge, it's really bad. Now for my conclusion. Would I recommend this phone? Yes. This phone is amazing. If you're on a super budget and you have a GSM network such as AT&T or T-Mobile, then definitely get this phone. It has dual SIMs, it has micro SD card slot, it has great battery life, a decent looking bright screen, amazing performance, and best of all, it's less than $70. You could buy literally like 14 of these for the price of like a new iPhone 7. It's insane, and that's the whole part of this phone, is that its price is like it's the lowest I've ever seen for a usable phone. And that's crazy. It's really great, and I wholeheartedly recommend this phone if you're going to be doing anything where you need like a disposable phone, or even if you want a daily driver that's super cheap and you don't care about picture quality. The only other qualm that I have with this phone is the speaker quality. It's pretty quiet and notifications are quiet, and when it does get to its max volume, you can tell that it sounds very tinny. So if you're going to be watching a lot of video and media on this, then try some headphones, which I have found plugging in headphones into this are a lot louder than when you plug them into my Note 3 or anything else. That I'll be at like two bars in and it's plenty loud versus like being 6 or 7 bars in on my Note 3. But overall, definitely get this phone if you can. It's great for even an iPod or even a music player, because you figure you put in an SD card with 128 gig worth of songs onto this, you've got a super easy to use interface, you've got hundreds of different music playing apps that you can get just to like play your music through, and it's got that audio jack. Got you there, Apple. And so overall, you can even use this thing as just an MP3 player, and it's still great for the price, you know? So overall, buy this phone. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a nice day.